I'm just now realizing we never hit the intro button.
Oh my gosh, we need to do
Normally
that.
that's a Kelly Davies task. I'm sorry, Kelly.
Kelly, we need to get Tori on here
Yeah,
immediately.
so Miss Kelly Davies is on a well-deserved vacation
Yes.
to her favorite city of Charleston. So, hi Kelly. I hope you're having a great
I hope
time.
you're having an amazing time.
Here's your daughter's voice.
In the know in the 920.
Awesome.
Amazing. check off the list. Oh my gosh.
Oh man,
We just got too
I've
excited.
never done this before. Oops.
Only every week.
No, I'm thrown off. It's a Tuesday. This
It is a
is the
Tuesday.
first episode that's ever being recorded on a Tuesday.
That's my fault. I was too busy tomorrow. I'm sorry. I did switch it up for
Well,
you.
we're trying to switch to this new schedule, and I don't know if we're sticking to it this week. I don't know if this week is doing it yet, but I think we're trying to release the episodes on Thursdays now.
Oh, okay.
So that when people hear the weekend events, they have a little bit more time
I
to
think it's good.
react to them.
Yes, or like actually scheduled to do them. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, we got some fan mail a little while back. It was like, hey, I love listening to your podcast, but I don't end up hearing the podcast until I get back to work on Monday, and then I miss the weekend events. And I was like, oh,
Good call.
interesting. So
Thank you, listener.
yeah, thank you. So now we're aiming to get these out on Thursday. I don't know if this week's episode is going to be, but I hope so.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
So, hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Fiona.
I'm so excited to be here. It's been a little bit, I feel like.
Yeah. So, it is March now. Yeah, you haven't been here in a couple months, I think. Yeah, the building is progressing.
It is progressing. I feel like every time I'm here doing the podcast, I'm in a different room. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Rolling with the punches.
The weather is not progressing. It is still cold.
Yeah, no, just come back from Hawaii and seeing snow and slush, and I had to shovel yesterday. I was like, why did I come back?
Yeah.
This is horrible.
Yeah, you guys did a nice little trip.
Yeah.
Didn't encounter any snakes on the plane.
No snakes on a plane.
It's a terrible movie.
I kind of love it, though.
Yeah. So yeah, welcome back. You're just gonna jump back into selling houses to people?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I already have a couple listing appointments scheduled. I've got showings. I started showings the day after I came back, which was awesome.
Nice.
I had a couple people on the team, Becky specifically. Thanks for Becky, filling in for me when I was gone, doing showings and everything for me. So she kept my business going. So
Awesome.
yeah, I'm ready to jump back in and get busy now that the market's going to be. It's been hot lately. I think it's been really, really hot.
Yes. It's sort of in a weird state where I can tell that listings are still selling quickly, although it seems to be that some listings are getting a ton of attention, whereas some get very, very little.
I agree.
Because we had 3 listings up over this past weekend. So 2 of them each got 1 offer, and then the other one got 10.
I agree with you. So before I left, I had 3 accepted offers right before I left. 2 of them, my people were the only offers on them. The other one, we beat out 20 other offers. And I haven't done that in a long time. In a
Right.
long time. And the one where we were the only offer and we got it at asking was a beautiful house in Kakana. Like ranch, finished basement opportunity, really new, updated, nice big yard. And I'm like, what? Like, so some houses where I think are going to sell crazy over are only getting like 1 offer. And then, like you said, there's some, and obviously those price points were different of those houses too, but still, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, yeah, I had one last month where we beat out 17 people and one where we beat out 13 people. And I'm like, I haven't had that in some time now. Yeah.
Yeah, because it used to be, back in the day, back in like 2021,
So long ago.
4 years ago, it would be like there would be a lot of houses that you would go to, and you would see that there were like 50 agents'
Oh my
business
gosh,
cards
yeah.
on the table. And I'm kind of sad that I threw away all my photos because I used to take photos anytime there was more than like 20 cards there.
Yeah.
And it was just such a different era because that was so common. Like every time you'd go to a house, you'd be like, oh, 20 people have already been here.
Right, I agree. And I don't know if it's, and I mean, I'll go to some houses where they will still have a ton of showings on them, but then they won't have as many offers as I'll think. So you can see like 15, 20 business cards, but then they only have like 2 or 3 offers.
Right.
So I feel like things I mean, obviously there are going to be houses that are going to be outliers where everyone's going to want them. They're in a perfect price range. They're updated. There's little that needs to be done that are going to go crazy. But I feel like a lot of them where maybe a year ago they would have sold like hotcakes.
Yeah.
They're sitting a little longer. They're going at asking price. So I'm definitely seeing a little bit of a shift in the market, which is great for buyers. I mean, sellers are still selling their houses at top dollar
Yep.
because versus what they bought it for and just with what the comps are. But then buyers aren't having to go insanely high over. So it's still like a win-win for both people. Just buyers aren't having to go for, I feel like the majority recently, like $1 billion over asking.
Yeah. That's been difficult too. And it's weird. I've seen, our listing this weekend that had the 10 offers. I saw a couple different approaches for people that were sort of, approaching the issue now too of like, well, we think that's, this is sort of the max that the house is going to appraise to. But here are other ways that, we're going to try to get the seller more money.
Sure.
And there were like 3 different offers that had really creative ways to like try to get the seller more money. And it was, just different stuff like, like the buyer would pay the property taxes, which, that comes up to like $1,000 back to the seller.
Sure.
Or what was the other one? Like just these people were able to offer some sort of like, cash incentive on the side for picking their offer. And it's sort of like, an earnest money payment, but it's like separate to the offer.
Oh, sure.
Just stuff like that.
Yeah, I've noticed that too, where I think people are trying to start. Obviously, some properties when you're going against a ton of people, money always is going to talk. But I think buyers are starting to get to the point after 5-6 years of having to just throw money after money after money. They're trying to come up with creative ways of saying, like, how can we both win? How can it be that the sellers are still getting what the sellers want, and I'm not giving my firstborn child up, basically, to be able to get the
Right.
house. So I think people are really starting to try to become creative. So that they don't feel like they're giving up everything. Because I feel like that's a lot that I hear from buyers are, we feel like we're giving up everything. We're giving high earnest money. We're waiving all inspections. We're giving a ton of money. We're filling appraisal gaps. Like, obviously you're trying to beat out other offers, but it's like, is the sellers going to give anything? And most of the time, no, they don't need to.
Yeah.
So I do think, and to your point, buyers are trying to come up with creative ways where they don't have to feel like they're giving up everything and they're getting a little bit of a win versus maybe not going crazy high over, but doing taxes instead.
Correct. So, anecdotally, I'm noticing that a lot of our buyers right now are first-time buyers.
Agreed.
We don't have many people that also have a house to sell. And when we do, it's people that are like very secure financially, because the average sort of family in our area right now is sort of in this point where, maybe they have a decent interest rate on their current mortgage and like, what's the point of moving?
Correct.
So all the people that are moving are either, they're downsizing because the kids are all gone now, or, something like that, or they've gotten huge promotions in the last couple of years so they can afford it. But yeah, I would say at least 80% of our buyers are probably first timers now.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, I've had a couple people recently where they are moving to their second home because they bought a smaller home originally a couple of years ago, and then they had kids and they got married and they just need more space. But like, to your point, back kind of when the COVID time was, when rates were at 3%, so many people are locked into those rates. So many people refinanced. So, and back then people were looking for fun. Like, I would have buyers that would be like, hey, I saw this house driving down the block. I wasn't looking at a house. This is in the exact neighborhood I want. Let's go look, and they'd buy it. But a month ago, if you told them they were going to move, they'd be like, we're not looking at houses. But because of the rates. So that's like, to your point, they're not really doing that anymore. They're moving for a reason. And I do think for a lot of people, because the rates are so low, it's harder for them to stomach when they're not first-time home buyers because they're going from a 3% interest rate. And then potentially if they're buying a more expensive or larger home, not only is obviously the price point higher, but then the rates are a lot higher, making it where their monthly payments are so much higher. So that's why I think it's also important that, how we connect with a lot of lenders and work with a lot of lenders who have different like programs and things like that, where they potentially can do like a 2-1 buy down rate where they're buying your rate down 1% for 1 year, making it where it's more manageable for people. For first time home buyers, they don't know any difference. For those that are locked in at a 2.8 or a 3%, those are the ones that are a little bit larger of a hurdle, because we need those people to also sell their houses, because most of them are first-time home buyers that they're sitting in first-time home buyer houses and price points. And if they're not selling, then first-time home buyers don't have enough houses to look at to buy. And that's
Right.
kind of, I feel like, the situation that we're in.
That's the people that, they bought a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house for like 180,000. They've got they're paying like $500 a month on it. They're like, why would I move?
No, exactly. They're like, it makes no sense. So, I think being creative with lenders and things like that are like what people really need to do to look at the rates and see things that they can change or finagle because we need their houses. Because first-time home buyers,
Give us your house.
Yeah, please. Because so many first-time home buyers, I mean, when you go and kind of to our point before with the business cards, it's usually the same business cards at all the same houses because they're all showing the same buyers. So most houses, you're probably competing against the same buyers for every single house.
Yeah, you'll see one person, you'll be like, Susan, I've been following you around all day.
Like I had showings before I left, and this other realtor, we literally went to the same 3 houses and had overlapping showings at all 3. And I'm like, we should have just Ubered. Yeah, I'm like, we should have just carpooled together and he had the same buyer that I had. My buyer was me, his buyer, and they were the same groups, just bumping at the same houses. And it's like, oh man, we're all just competing against the same large pool of people for the same 5 houses.
Yeah, I've had that same situation before too, where it's like, we kept being like 15 minutes before these people.
Oh my gosh, that's
so they like kept showing up like as we were about to leave, and I was just like, I'll just leave the door open at the next one for you.
Yeah, I'll keep the lights on and
I mean that happens sometimes though.
Yeah, oh, absolutely it does. And like again, when there's only a certain amount of houses in that first-time home buyer pool, you're going to keep running into the same people, that's for sure.
And that's I think part of why, select listings end up getting a gazillion offers is because a lot of buyers deep down are pretty much the exact same. Everybody's looking for the same sort of deal. Mm-hmm. Everybody has sort of the same, more or less has the same sort of eye for, condition and all that kind of stuff of a house. So, yeah, I mean, when houses are all marketed to everybody, the ones that are the best are going to get picked out the most by, the same people.
Right. And something I've noticed too, and let me know if you've noticed this as well too, but a lot of my buyers, I feel like, have slowly started leaning away from the houses that don't need any work. So there's obviously houses where they are completely redone. The person who's selling it redid the kitchen, flooring, bathroom, and it's completely move-in ready.
Yeah.
A lot of my buyers, I've noticed, have started moving away from that because they want to buy a house where they say, if I need to spend $10,000, $15,000 potentially over asking for it, I want to know that I can add a ton of equity to it by doing those updates myself. And I've started noticing that a lot with my buyers where they're wanting those houses that need some fixing up so they can add the equity. And if they want to sell, they know they're adding value versus those houses where the only way a value will be added is if the market keeps rising. Have you started to notice that as well?
A little bit. So getting people into that mindset, you kind of have to flip their whole view backwards because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I want this house that's, all fully updated and it's, going to hit this value. But yeah, it's like you're saying, like if you're willing to do a little bit of work to the house, I mean, you get to customize it how you want,
right?
Which is cool. You can change the space however it works best for you. But then you're adding value to, this house that you can later sell. And then you're going to get back a lot more value compared to this other house, which is going to, it's going to hold its value, but
maybe not as much.
Yeah.
Right. Because like those ones that are fully updated, I mean, for some people it's like, yeah, it's amazing. But when you're having to offer over on both properties, a lot of people are saying, if I'm offering over X amount, will I make that money back? And I get that all the time. Fiona, if I sell in a couple of years, am I going to be able to get my money back? Because I'm offering $20,000 over. And I'm like, well, one, I can't predict the future. I can only see where our market has been and what it does. And I feel like typically in our area, houses are appreciating about 15% yearly without doing any work to it. So if you're offering 20 grand over and let's say it doesn't appraise at that, so you're paying over appraised value and you have a house that's only going to appreciate a little bit because nothing needs to be done versus a house that you're still maybe having to bid over, maybe it doesn't appraise, but you're going to do the kitchen and you're going to do like not the expensive stuff, not the roof, not the foundation, but flooring and bathrooms and updating of kitchens and things. It's like you're going to have a way higher opportunity to make so much more in the future because not only are you getting that yearly price increase just for our market, but then you added so much value by doing so much more work that somebody else now doesn't have to do, and they're going to pay for that. So I feel like so many of the houses recently, my people have been have been kind of pivoting away from the doesn't need any work, which has been a surprising switch, I feel like, lately.
Yeah. Pivot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had this one client, and he's done this at I think 2 different properties now, where he essentially is just flipping his own home. Like he's making the house comfortable for them to live in, but he's realizing that in a couple years he's going to be selling it.
Sure.
So the last house that he sold with us, it was a foreclosure. Like it was, people were breaking in, doing graffiti and all sorts of other weird stuff in the basement. The house was in shambles, and they bought it for like, I want to say less than $100,000. They probably put about $100,000 of work into it over the course of like 2 or 3 years, and then they sold it for like $430,000. So
Oh my gosh, that's a huge return.
Yeah,
Huge.
yeah. They made like $250,000 back basically by just taking the time to slowly make the house comfortable for them. And, just live there until they were happy with it and put it on the market.
And that's what a lot of the gurus of real estate say, is that you should buy a house, live in it for a couple of years, update it while you're slowly living in it, and then either get a HELOC and purchase your next home and use it as a rental property, or sell it and then keep moving yourself up. So before you know it, you're purchasing a 600,000, your dream home. But all you did was just use the money from your previous things to get you, your previous properties to get you there. And yeah, they always say like 2 to 3 years, because then you don't have to pay property gains tax or anything like that. You obviously you're going to sell it more for the market. So that's super smart that's what he's doing, because before they know it, they're going to be in their dream home and barely having to spend their own money to get there.
Right.
Because of all the money they put into selling the properties.
Yeah, and that client actually, he and his family bought a bar with us a couple months ago.
Oh.
Out in Wyawega. So, yeah, they're working on completely trying to renovate it. Because I guess it's this place where people used to stay, kind of sort of like Airbnb kind of deal, where it was it's like an inn upstairs.
Sure.
And then it's like
Okay.
a bar on the main level.
Yeah.
And it's right on the Wolf River.
Oh,
So
that would be super nice.
yeah, so like people will stay there for like family vacations in the summer and stuff.
Sure.
So they're planning to like completely gut it and renovate it and make it back into like a functional
Oh my gosh, that's cool.
like inn kind of. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
Man, I love people that like they're able to do that kind of cool stuff. Like you've got your one investor that you work with a lot too. Like he just does a lot of like neat things in houses, and like I just love people that have that sort of vision.
Correct.
And,
Agreed.
like, and the ambition.
And know how to do it.
Yeah.
Like for me, like I can look at a property and I can say, this is how I want it to look. This is how I want to do. But I'm not the one doing the work.
God,
I'm not
no.
the one lifting the hammer. I'm paying for somebody. Like we did that with our house. We pretty much and I'm like, I'm not putting the floors in. I'm not like, it's like if I did it, I did one project with my dad where we built a huge electric fireplace. But if it comes to like tearing floors out and things, like we would have had to buy triple the flooring of how much I would have screwed up. So it's like I'm a let's just. So for me, I don't know if that would be the best investment, because I'd have to pay all the contractors to do it.
And I can't remember. Didn't you guys like take out a wall or something too? Or
No,
did
we
you
did
end
not
up
take out a
doing
wall.
that? Okay.
We wanted to, but we couldn't because of all of our ducts for the upstairs. All of our 4 bedrooms are upstairs, so we would have had to
Rerun all the ducts.
reroute all of the ducts upstairs, and we're not paying to HVAC the whole house.
So you had your ducts in a row.
We did not have our ducks in a row, because then if they were in a row, we could have removed that wall. But it's okay. I heard people are moving away from open concept, and we're not open. Well, we're semi-open, but not open. So we have that wall, kind of like an L with our kitchen. So I heard that's coming back, because people after COVID were stuck with everybody in the one open space, and they realized they didn't have anywhere to have any quiet, because the living room and the kids in the kitchen. So I'm like, maybe it's a good thing we couldn't tear down that wall, because in 5 years, if we decide to sell, people are gonna be like, get away from open concept. So
yeah, I think I've been seeing that too, where people, you just kind of get cozy in your own little corner of the house, and that's good enough. I think the one, maybe it's not even fully a pro, maybe it's both a pro and a con, is like if you have young children, the open concept is kind of nice, because it is a lot easier to keep an eye on everybody
and watch them, right?
But at the same time, then you have no sort of sound privacy,
right? Or if we've all been to family parties where you're trying to have a conversation in the kitchen and people are watching TV and you're being too loud because you're talking over the sports or, whatever. The kids are, and then you're not being able to have those. So it's like the closed concept. It's really, nice to, you can have those conversations, but it does stink for like, especially on like Sundays when you're cooking and you want to watch football and it's on the other side of the wall and it's like, oh, I just need to get one of those undermount, like the old days, the undermount TVs to watch.
Like a 9-inch screen.
A tube TV shoved in the corner. Black and white preferably.
Speaking of weird kitchen appliances, I saw recently a built-in blender, and it's weird to describe. But, like, just imagine, you normally would have the top of the blender. Mm-hmm. So, like, the mechanical part to it was, like, sunk into the counter.
Oh.
So it's, like, flush with the counter. So all you would do is you take the blender and you just, like, shove it in the hole in the counter.
So the blade was?
Like, the whole, like, the
like
motor
the
bit.
circle, the part.
Yeah, like the circular, like, motor bit. And then you, like, stick the pitcher into your counter. It was, like, an old, like, 70s thing.
Interesting. Can it be covered? Like, I feel like that would just be, like, a crumbs trap.
Yeah, so it sits like flush, but then like when you put the thing on, it like pushes the down.
But there's no like covered like.
Yeah, I think I have a photo. I can.
That's interesting.
Remind me, I'll show you.
I've never seen that.
It was the weirdest thing because I had no idea what it was when I was looking at it. I had to look it up.
Yeah,
it
I
was
feel like
so weird.
I've seen a lot of stuff, but I've never seen that. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, I love weird stuff like that where I'm like, man, somebody had some really like out of the box idea.
Yeah,
back
that was
in the
probably
day.
like a custom, and the person was like a chef of some kind. They're like, I use this every day. I need it in here.
Yeah, I have my daily smoothie.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know.
What make blending like? I don't know. What do you blend? I rarely use a blender. I don't cook. My husband does all the cooking. So
Yeah, outside of smoothies and milkshakes, I have no idea what people use blenders
just
for.
Milkshakes every day, all day. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that was cool.
That's cool.
Man, I'm trying to think of anything else that I've seen that was neat lately. Just while we're on that subject, I don't know.
I feel like I see things and now that I'm on the spot, I'm not going to remember it.
But yeah, like with the open concept, I feel like that's going to be one of those sort of millennial trends, along with the painting everything white and gray.
And that's gone.
Yeah.
A lot of that is gone. And I agree with you completely. I think the open concept in a couple of years will be maybe not fully gone, but a little bit more gone. And then, the white and grays are very gone. People are very much into those like earth tones.
Yeah.
The wood, or maybe like white for some of the cabinets, but then the island being like a wood tone or a stained wood, really warm colored. Like I'd say a couple of years ago, a lot of the floors were like that farm look where every floor is a different pattern. They're darker.
Yeah.
And now I feel like a lot of them are very, very, very warm, bright colors. And then you've got those like greens and those tans and just very bright and airy colors versus those like cooler grays and darker floors, I think are pretty much gone now.
Yeah, and I heard that, like colorful appliances and stuff are even coming back. Like, like the old avocado green ovens
really?
and stuff.
I've seen the white ones.
I haven't seen them in our area, but
no, me neither. I don't know. That's an interesting. I don't know if I would get on. I'm very much on board with the white on white being gone. I don't know if I'm on board with the colored appliance unless it's like a cool like blue.
Yeah, and just like the different like, I'm almost thinking it's gonna start looking more like 80s colors where it's like brown with just accents of like citrus colors everywhere, like yellow and green and orange.
So like, that's funny that you said that. So the other day I was watching something on Facebook or whatever, and like obviously those Stanley Cup things come up all the time.
Yep.
And the Stanley Cup colors are like that green and the yellow and those pastel colors.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and those were like what the colors of the fridges and the toasters and stuff back in the day. So those colors are like those pastels are coming, those like Easter colors, I call them, are like coming back, or people are using those. So I don't know if I'm going to personally do that, but who knows what I want to do in 5 years. I mean,
yeah, I think it gets to a point too where it's like, people see, a trend only hangs around so long because people end up seeing like, oh, every single person that I know has a house like this. I want one that's a little bit different.
Correct.
So
it's like wallpaper.
Yeah,
Wallpaper's coming back.
The trend goes somewhere, and like wallpaper, and then in like 20 years from now, everybody's gonna be like, everybody I know has wallpaper. I don't want it in my house. It's
Correct.
terrible. So
and then the shiplap is gonna come back.
Yeah.
And then it's just so like my grandma said this to me years ago. She was like, I never throw clothes away because every 15 years that style comes back.
Yeah.
And it's so true. Like, I'll literally look at pictures of my parents growing up and the outfits that they're wearing are what people are wearing now.
Yeah.
Like those bell bottoms are coming back and the crop tops and the boys wearing shorter short. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like my grandma like wasn't lying, but like it's so true. Like it all circles back because
Yeah.
it becomes like the newest thing. Or you're watching an old TV show and you're like, oh, I love that look. And then they're like, I want to bring that to my house. And before you know what the trend is, circling and circling. So I am interested to see what the next trend will be.
Yeah. The one thing that you mentioned for me especially is like the shorts for men. Like, yeah, because being in middle school and high school in the 2000s, it was like if your shorts didn't go at least past your knee, if they weren't like touching your calves, there was something wrong with you.
That's so funny.
They're like, your shorts have to be at least to your kneecap.
Well, I know so with basketball. Like our basketball jerseys in high school, like our girls' ones were to the knee,
Yeah.
like basketball shorts. Now, like the guys are like mid-length and the girls are like shorts, multiple rolled, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what? And I'm like, our shorts were longer than that. I'm like, it's so funny. It just all circles back.
Back in my day, I
Yeah, back in my day, 10 years ago. So long ago, kind of long ago, actually.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's real estate trends. I think this is coming out, Thursday? That'd be like the 28th. I think on the 31st, we've got a new listing coming up in Kaukauna. So I think that'll be like a starter home. I don't really know too much about that one. I think we're at sort of like the 200-ish price point.
Oh, there's very little in that price point in Kaukauna, so that's awesome.
I might be wrong on that. I haven't looked it up recently, but yeah, there's not a lot in that area. Kaukauna tends to have a lot of old homes, some that are from like the 1850s. So yeah, when you get to that price point, then sometimes the concern becomes, how's the basement and all
Right.
that. Honestly, though, if the basement's been there for 150 plus years, it's probably in good shape.
Correct. And a lot of times
Considered.
what they used then is a lot stronger than what they use now. That's
Heck
for sure.
yeah.
That is for sure. They have a lot less issues.
All those giant field stones placed in the basement
Yep.
wall by hand.
Yep.
Yeah, they took their time with that.
They did.
Well, anything else you wanted to talk about? We've got our...
I don't think so. I think we can jump into what we're doing on the weekends.
Yeah, so a lot of people are a lot of kids are on spring break. So I think a lot of families are sort of doing their vacation time this year. But in case, you are still here in the Fox Cities, here's a couple of things that you can do.
Let's see what's happening this weekend in the 920.
I remembered the button that time. All right. So let's see. I'll start out with this one. So on March 29th at the Meyer Theater in Green Bay, that's 117 South Washington Street, we have comedian Whitney Cummings, host of the hit podcast Good For You. Or is it Good For You? I don't know. Either way. Launched in 2019, Good For You is self-produced and features conversations with Whitney's friends, fellow comedians, and experts in a variety of fields, including neuroscience, veterinary medicine, and magic. Best known for creating and starring in the NBC series Whitney is also the co-creator and co-writer of the syndicated Emmy-nominated CBS comedy series Two Broke Girls.
Oh.
She has appeared in numerous television shows, films, and stand-up specials, including her sixth stand-up special, Mouthy, which was released on OnlyFans in November of 2023. Interesting. People always forget that OnlyFans is actually for, just producing content like that, too. That's funny. So that is, Meyer Theater, Saturday, 7 p.m. Fiona.
All right. So I have a honey making workshop. So this is at the Givens Farm on N2828 Givens Road in Hortonville. Join us for an engaging exploration of honey making in this hands-on workshop that takes you on a fascinating journey from nectar to honeycomb. Discover the various types of bees and their important roles within the hives and learn how these remarkable insects collect nectar and transform it into honey. Gain insight into honey extraction and bottling techniques techniques, followed by delightful honey tasting, where you'll explore diverse flavors. Additionally, uncover the nutritional value and health benefits of honey, including its rich history as a natural remedy. Whether you're a honey enthusiast or curious beginner, this class will deepen your appreciation for this delicious and healing natural food. Join us and uncover the sweet secrets. This is $45 a person, so this is pretty cool.
Oh,
Yeah, that's really cool.
have you ever been to the Givens Farm?
I have not.
It's it's in Hortonville. I've only ever like driven past it. It actually sold about a year ago. It was on the market for a while because they wanted like over $2 million for it, I think. And I mean, the building is beautiful. It's like a really cool like wedding venue and stuff. But
Oh, okay.
it's also like a farm. So they have they have all their own bees. They have like chickens, and I think they had like quails and
Oh, wow.
goats. I think they had all sorts of stuff there.
Well, I'll need to check it out. And this is, March 30th. I should have said that. March 30th from 1 to 3:30.
Oh, okay. So that would be Sunday. All right. Next up, we got Brews and Baskets fundraiser. The second annual Brews and Baskets Appleton Beer Factory has partnered with us again. Oh, second annual Brews and Baskets. There's an exclamation mark there. And then it says Appleton Beer Factory has partnered with us again to host a fundraising event with our community, benefiting the animals of Safe Haven Pet Sanctuary and Coffee Shop Cat Cafe. That's hard to say quickly. With kitten season right around the corner, your support is needed now more than ever. Please spread the word, share, and invite your friends. Oh, what to expect. Basket prizes and a 50-50 raffle. Delicious food and drinks with NA options available, with all proceeds benefiting Safe Haven. You can hang out with fellow animal lovers. Oh my goodness. Fellow animal lovers, including staff and volunteers of Safe Haven and Coffee Shop. Family-friendly atmosphere with no entry fee required. There'll be raffle tickets and a drawing, which is going to happen at 3:30. So that is happening at Appleton Beer Factory, 603 West College Avenue, Appleton, Wisconsin. And that is, Saturday, 1 to 4 p.m.
Wonderful. All right, this is also Chef's Week. So it is presented by Heritage Restaurant, which is at the Legacy Hotel, 1004 Brett Favre Pass, Green Bay. It is $95 from 5 to 9. So Heritage Modern Supper Club at Legacy Hotel, Green Bay presents Chef's Week, a culinary journey through Italy from March 25th through 29th. Guests can indulge in a meticulously crafted 7-course tasting menu for $95 per person. 7 courses for $95 is honestly a steal. That's a lot of courses for that price.
Yeah, it is.
Featuring authentic Italian flavors like charcuterie and artisan cheeses, risotto with Brussels sprouts and, guanciale? Guanciale? Sure.
Good enough.
Grilled branzino with caponata, stuffed meatballs with pappardelle, and classic desserts such as tiramisu and affogato. I'm so sorry. I'm probably butchering all this. To everyone who knows how to actually pronounce this,
You forgot
I
about
apologize.
what? Never mind.
So sorry. This exclusive dining experience offers a taste of Italy's rich culinary heritage with limited seatings available. Reservations are required via opentable.com. So make sure you go there if you would like a 7-course tasting of this beautiful Italian meal.
Neat. All right, last thing that I've got, Maple Day at Maple Sweet Dairy. This is 4501 County Road W in De Pere, Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It says, join us Saturday to see the entire process from sap to maple syrup. There will be wagon rides to the woods to view the sap process, followed by a tour of our sugar house. The event is free and also includes numerous snacks and drinks that feature maple syrup. So, yeah, that seems pretty awesome. All of the products will be available for purchase as well.
A lot of food stuff this weekend.
I love maple syrup, so I was the one who threw this one in there.
Are you going to go?
I'm not going. I am going to be in Door County this weekend.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I love it there. You're going to have a great time.
Saturday is the 1-year anniversary of our engagement, so we're going back to the spot where we got engaged. We're going to have like a little picnic and stuff.
That is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, that's really
Yeah.
romantic. I love that for you guys. It's awesome.
Every once in a while, I like to show her that I still love her.
Yes,
so.
I think that's a good way to do it. She's lucky. That's awesome.
Yeah. Anything else on your mind for this week, the coming week?
No, I just hope everyone has a wonderful week. Hopefully it's supposed to be in the 50s this weekend, so that's going to be nice. And
Yes. Fingers crossed.
hope everyone has a great rest of their day.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To contact the Kelly Davies Homes team for all of your buying and selling needs, call 920-791-9047. Find us on Facebook at the Kelly Davies Homes team or go to kellydavieshomes.com.
Peace.